कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, अरे कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो। साहब मिले सबूरी में, अरे साहब मिले सबूरी में, मन लागो यार फकीरी में।
I was reading about the two dreams you talked about.
The
Two kind of dreams that we dream. I read the first one, which is we are trying to fulfill that we are not. And the second dream is more like visionary. And I stopped, and then I couldn't read any further. I would like if you can expound on that, the second kind of a dream that you talked about.
Yes. We live in dreams. Every dream is a hope. Man is a creature that lives in time, in hope, in future. Hope's dreams are of two kinds. One, something better will happen to me in the future. I find that I'm not all right now, and I want to improve. I want betterment. I say it will come to me in the future. That is one kind of dream, a way of hoping. Then the other one is, I observe myself and I find myself hoping and dreaming and wishing, and I say, no, this is not my nature. I must live in my nature. I must not live in hope. Now this is a strange hope. The hope to not hope. The desire to come to the end of all desires. There is one kind of desire that feeds desire, that fuels desire, that asks for more desires. That is how we normally desire, right? One desire leads to the other one. And then there is a desire to end. That desire to end is the essence of all spirituality. In that ending is infinite life. In that hope is the termination of all hope. That is the dream that wakes you up. The dream to get rid of dreams is the dream that wakes you up. In fact, that is a dream that you cannot have without the support, the inner support of awakening. Only when you are in contact with your inner awakening, then you dream to wake up. You desire to wake up. Otherwise, all your desires are towards remaining desirous. The pattern wants to continue. The ego wants to roll on. The whole thing, the system, has a certain momentum that doesn't want to expire. And that is also habitual, that is also logical, that is all within cause and effect. But reasonlessly, causelessly, it sometimes happens that one desires to be free of desire. That desire has no cause. That desire has no real objective in the sense we use the word objectives. That is the second kind of desire. That second kind of desire has been classically called as mumukshatva. The last desire. The desire to be liberated of desires. The desire to be liberated of desires. It is not a desire in the same dimension as ordinary desire. It is a dream, but not in the same dimension as ordinary dreams. Yes? When we say the ending of all desires, that does not mean that life will be vapid and dull. Ending of all desires means that one lives in such fulfillment that desires do not mean much now. Normally when you desire, then desire is a big thing. If it is fulfilled, then the day is great. If it is not fulfilled, then you feel let down. Don't you? To live in contentment means to not to take desires seriously anymore. And then you are free to desire and free to succeed and free to fail, free to act unfree and yet remain free.
So the second desire comes due to grace.
Yes, the second desire is a blessing always. You cannot earn it or cause it. You can be ready for it, nevertheless. You can be in a position where you do not block the grace, you do not refuse the grace. Grace is never conditional. Grace is always. It doesn't depend on who you are. In your own eyes, you may be the most virtuous man. In your own eyes, you may be the worst sinner. Grace is equally available to both of you. But the thing with the sinner is that he is likely to refuse the grace, and that is his sin. Now you see why sinning is a problem and what is the definition of sin. Even if you sin, your status does not change in the eyes of the total. Grace still reigns upon you. Just as when it rains equally upon a living tree and a dead tree. Rain does not differentiate, or does it? But the living tree is able to absorb the rain, and the dead tree is not able to absorb the rain. Rain by itself does not distinguish. Grace by itself holds no distinctions. It is like rain or sunlight, available to everything and everybody, falling equally upon everything and everybody. But sin is the incapacity to accept grace. Sin is the determination of the ego to block grace.